Mangwana ni malelepo vukenjani klekwas vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, your portal into Africa's potent stories. Today, Chad's former Prime Minister, Succès Masra, has been sentenced to 20 years in prison. A South African court orders former Zambian President Edgar Lungu's body returned for a state funeral in Lusaka. Cameroon's 92-year-old Biya is cleared for an 8th term. Uganda denies bail to opposition veteran Kizza Besigye. Niger investigates the illicit sale of a rare Martian meteorite. Plus, Zambia's Sichula reports on burial reactions with regards to Lungu, a man with metal objects removed in surgery, and an acid spill update. Also, enjoy the vibrant scenes from the Zambezi Bream Festival. Watch us on DSTV 285, GOTV 25, 1up2.com and NTV Africa on YouTube. My name is Ashwin. This is Africa Good Morning. Top stories shortly.
Mornings just got better, Namibia. From the latest headlines to the hottest trends, we're bringing you the conversations that matter.
That's right. Bright minds, bold opinions, and a touch of morning magic. This is your daily dose of energy.
So grab a cup and join in on the conversation every weekday morning at 8 o'clock with Smell the Coffee, hosted by Diana Master and Aina Riza Quayo.
Let's get into our top stories. Chad's former Prime Minister and opposition leader Succès Masra has been sentenced to 20 years in prison and fined 1 billion CFA francs, about $1.6 million. He was convicted in absentia on charges of spreading hateful and xenophobic messages and alleged complicity in the May Mandakao massacre, which left at least 25 people dead in ethnic clashes. His legal team denounced the case as politically driven, saying the files contained no credible evidence and accusing authorities of weaponizing the judiciary in order to silence dissent. The trial also targeted 74 others, including local leaders and community members. 64 received the same sentence as Masra, while the rest were acquitted. Masra, who was Prime Minister from January to May 2024, resigned after losing the presidential election to Mahamat Idris Deby. Since leaving office, he has tensions and human rights. Now, the sentence is expected to deepen political divisions in Chad, where opposition parties already face increasing restrictions ahead of next year's legislative elections. Moving on. A South African court has ordered the repatriation of former Zambian President Edgar Lungu's body to Lusaka for a state funeral, overruling his family's plan for private burial in Johannesburg. Lungu, who led Zambia from 2015 to 2021, died on June 5 in South Africa while undergoing medical treatment. The Pretoria High Court ruled that, in line with state protocol, all Zambian presidents since independence must be buried at the presidential burial site in the capital. His widow, Esther Lungu, opposed the decision, citing his political rivalry with President Hakainde Hichilema and claiming a burial in Lusaka would be against his wishes. The Zambian government welcomed the ruling, saying it respects the dignity of the presidency and national tradition. Lungu's presidency was marked by ambitious infrastructure projects, but also by mounting debt, economic troubles, and accusations of democratic backsliding. His state funeral is expected to be a politically charged event, potentially rekindling divisions between his supporters and the current administration. The exact date for the funeral has not been confirmed, and we'll be talking to Mike Sichula as he gives us an update with regards to Zambian people reacting to this news. Moving on. Cameroon's 92-year-old President Paul Biya has been cleared to run for an 8th term in the October 12 presidential election, the country's Constitutional Council announced this week. In power since 1982, Biya is already the world's oldest serving head of state and could remain in office until nearly 100 if re-elected. The council also disqualified key opposition leader Maurice Kamto, citing unresolved internal disputes within his party, the Cameroon Renaissance movement. This decision leaves Biya facing 11 contenders, including longtime political figures Bello Boba Maigari and Issa Shiroma Bakari, as well as younger challengers Cabral Libi, Kere Muna, and Joshua Osi. Political analysts say Biya's entrenched ruling party, the CPDM, and the fragmented opposition give him a strong advantage. Civil society groups are urging opposition parties to form a united front, but past elections suggest such alliances rarely materialize. Critics accuse Biya's government of repressing dissent and manipulating the political system to maintain power. Supporters argue his decades of leadership have brought stability to a country facing security threats in its Anglophone regions and along its borders. Now, a Ugandan court has rejected a bail application from veteran opposition leader Kizza Besigye, who has been held for nearly 9 months on treason charges. Judge Emmanuel Bagoma ruled that the legal threshold for mandatory bail, 180 days in detention without trial, only began when Besigye was remanded to a civilian court on February 21, leaving him 12 days short. The 68-year-old former presidential candidate and ex-ally of President Yoweri Museveni was forcibly returned from Kenya in November 2024 and initially charged before a military tribunal. His case was later moved to civilian jurisdiction. Besigye, who has unsuccessfully run against Museveni in 4 elections, denies wrongdoing. His arrest has drawn criticism from rights groups and opposition figures, including Bobby Wine, who say the charges are part of a broader crackdown ahead of elections early next year, in which Museveni, 80, seeks re-election. The government denies political targeting, insisting those detained have committed crimes. Besigye has not said if he will contest the 2026 vote. Niger's government has launched an investigation into the sale of a rare 24.7 kilogram Martian meteorite believed to be one of the largest ever found. Discovered in the Agadez region in 2021, the meteorite, nicknamed Agadez 002, is thought to be worth millions of dollars to collectors and researchers. Authorities say it was illicitly removed from Niger and later sold through international dealers without proper permits, in violation of national heritage laws. The Ministry of Mines and Energy has pledged to pursue those involved and seek the meteorite's return. Local officials and scientists warn that the illicit trade in meteorites deprives Niger of valuable scientific material and potential tourism revenue. Meteorites from Mars are extremely rare, with fewer than 400 identified globally, and they offer important insights into the red planet's geology. The investigation comes amid broader efforts to tighten control over Niger's natural and cultural resources, which have long been vulnerable to smuggling. Officials are working with Interpol and other agencies to trace the meteorite's movements, as well as to identify the responsible parties. Those have been our top stories on Africa. Good morning. Just now, we'll be talking to Mike Sichula as he delivers the Zambia report. But prior to that, let's have a look at the weather. It's time for us to talk to Mike Sichula as he delivers the Zambia report. Mike Udwanji.
Nere bueno, Muribwanji, Africa, good morning, our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning, indeed. Mike, we know the biggest story in Zambia right now is the South African court ordering the repatriation of Edgar Lungu's body, much to the chagrin of his family, who certainly is not in agreement. And of course, they have decided to appeal that decision. But as it stands, Lungu's body is supposed to be repatriated to the Republic of Zambia. What are the reactions on the streets?
Well, the reactions began from the governing party, the UPND, that welcomed the decision by the High Court of South Africa in Pretoria that Mr. Lungu should be repatriated. And following that, the church organizations have also commended the decision and called on the Lungu family to respect the decision, the verdict of the court. Traditional leaders and many Zambians from across the nation have welcomed this decision to say, let there be closure to the matter involving the burial of Mr. Edgar Lungu. But the outcome seems to have been short-lived, with an appeal that has been filed by the Lungu family to challenge the judgment. So not until then, Zambians are very hopeful that the appeal will be thrown out to just ensure that Mr. Edgar Lungu, who died on the 5th of June, should be buried, and there be closure to this matter. So some people have called on the Zambian government to ensure that the Lungu family are not sidelined, even if the matter has gone in the favor of government. They must be within the case of the burial. They should not be sidelined as opposed to what has been going on, where it looks like now, since government has been given the full authority over the body of Mr. Lungu, the government may not include the Lungu family in some of the key decisions that will be made between now and the day when President Edgar Lungu will be buried in Zambia. So the reactions from what we have gathered so far, majority people want Mr. Lungu to have his remains repatriated to Zambia, and they have commended Attorney General Kabesha Muliro for his stance to represent government in a matter that seemed to be going out of hand. Then,
all right, Mike, let me just tee you off into your next one, because we are all very interested. We were actually talking about this story in studio, and we're really looking forward to you giving us the details. Surgeons have removed over 20 metal objects from the stomach of a 30-year-old man, and this includes car keys.
Yes, yes, it's a story of believe it or not, but this story is true. The patient, a resident of Ndola, that is on the Copper Belt, complained of stomach pains, and upon which he went to seek medical attention at Ndola Teaching Hospital, where the medical authorities did scans, and they revealed that he had metallic objects in his stomach. So the metallic objects, like you said, as the picture, as our viewers can see from the picture there are car keys there are 2 spark plugs, there are coins, and an assortment of wires, and they also discovered a bra. So those are some of the things that were found. And from one of the surgeons, Dr. Mushikisi Songwe, he said the quantity and variety of objects removed is something that doctors hardly see, which suggests that the victim had a gradual injections of the metallic over time. And they have not revealed the identity of the patient, and they have also not explained in what state the patient is. But from what people have been saying, it seems the patient may not be in the right frame of mind, because some of the projects that the objects that they removed, they found them to have been corroded inside his stomach. So something that is bizarre, but it's something that is true. And medical doctors are saying what has happened is they have ensured that his life is protected, because some objects were found in the intestines, away from the stomach. Something that was really, really bad happening to this patient.
Wow, I can only imagine the pain he was going through, but obviously one continues to wonder what inspired those objects being there in the first place. Now, speaking of entities which are not supposed to be interacting with other entities, the government has responded to the U.S. Embassy on their recent health alert issued to its citizens in Zambia. When I say entities, Mike, I'm talking about the spill. Tell us more about this.
So the U.S. Embassy in Uganda issued the health alert last week, calling on its citizens in Kitwe and surrounding areas to vacate that area. They had some heavy metal presence following the spillage that happened on 18th February 2025. So in reaction to that, Chief Government Spokesperson Mr. Cornelius Mwetwa, that's him in the picture, alongside other cabinet ministers, called a media briefing last week on which they assured the nation that there's no need for panic following a public health alert issued by the U.S. Embassy to its citizens in Lusaka. He said that the situations in the affected areas has normalized following the mounted responses by government agencies to ensure that the damage that was caused by the spillage is brought under control. He also said that there were over 200 laboratory tests that were conducted by experts to establish whether pH levels were still high. But these findings revealed that pH levels have returned to normal, and levels of heavy metals were present in the water and were steadily decreasing. And from one of the pictures that you just showed there, a senior government official, Mr. Tabokawana, went on the ground to inspect what was going on in terms of water, and he took a cup of water at one of the taps to more or less like assure members of the public that the water that they are consuming is safe and they should not panic.
All right, Mike, now in a very brief update, which I think you're also happy to keep brief, tell us about Zambia's results yesterday in the CHAN tournament.
The result came out negative, unfortunately, because Zambia lost their first game to the Democratic Republic of Congo, 2-0. And yesterday, it looked like Zambia was going to win. They scored first, but Angola came back and finished it off late towards the end of the second half to make Zambia lose their second consecutive match at the CHAN tournament. So next, Zambia will have to beat Morocco and Kenya in order to stand a chance at this CHAN tournament. It is a very unfortunate result for the new FAS executive.
All right, Mike, we still keep our fingers crossed for some future Chipolopolo success. Thank you very much for delivering the Zambia report.
Thank you very much, Africa. Good morning, our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. Now, as you know, at the Zambian border, just across, is Katima Mulilo, and that is where I spent the recent week enjoying the sights and sounds and talking to people who are making the Zambezi Bream Festival happen. And one of those individuals was Susan Nakwezi Maswabi of the Kwezi Stall. It was her very first time having a cooking stand at the Zambezi Bream Festival, and she was learning as she goes, serving up flavor and soaking in the lively festival atmosphere. Have a look.
My name is Susan Maswabi, and found myself here at Zambezi Bream, like for the first time. So because I have a desire of cooking, yeah, this is my favorite thing I do. So I thought maybe I can showcase my case or my recipes here. So that's why I came. I have different food I prepare. I have Zambezi Bream, cooked one and fried one, and also we brine meat. We have pap, which is from meat, like pounded one. Especially like that was the amazing meal that made us grow up. My favorite thing about Zambezi Bream is to experience, to see how other people do when in the industry of cooking. So like now, the big challenge was like have to learn from others, like how do they do. So next time I also have to do more or to do better, because this is a big experience. I think next year I'll do the greater than I did this year.
Staying with the Zambezi Bream Festival experience, Trezor Kabinga of Treasure Photography from the Democratic Republic of Congo captured the spirit of the Zambezi Bream Festival through his lens, enjoying the vibrant atmosphere, mingling with people from different nations, and of course, tasting the famous bream.
My name is Treasure Photography. I am doing photography in Katima Mulilo. And today we are in the festival, Zambezi Festival. Everything is going well. And we are happy to see a lot of people coming from different places, including myself. I'm coming from DRC. And we are happy to see other people from Botswana, Zimbabwe, and South Africa, just to participate on the festival. That is a good thing that we realize in this festival. My favorite pictures to take, especially the portrait, the portrait, and the one that's, when you are wearing a culture, the clothes, the dress for culture, those pictures are coming nice as the way you can see. Yeah, we are doing the best. The nice part here, I think people are enjoying. People are enjoying fish. There's a different kind of fish here. They are doing braai, and whenever the way you want it to eat that fish, they will make it for you. Apart from fish, we have river front. You can see the view of the river. It looks nice. That is closer to Zambia, Sesheke. I think that is the good part of this festival here, because it's near to the river. Yes.
Thank you for joining us on Africa Good Morning. DSTV 285, GOTV 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, and NTV Africa on YouTube. Keeping in mind, on oneup2.com, if you click Echo, you have access to all of our episodes, because on Echo, prime time is anytime. From me, Ashwin Bedi, and the Africa Good Morning team, Swera Jaganaka.